The summer of 2025 will be remembered for more than just its record-breaking heat waves. A silent, invisible threat has made its way into kitchens across the American Southwest, turning the humble egg into a source of widespread illness. As of this morning, August 29, 2025, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, has reported over 800 confirmed cases of Salmonella enteritidis infection spanning 2 states. The outbreak, which began as a series of seemingly isolated food poisoning incidents in late July, has now been definitively linked to a single source: contaminated eggs originating from several large-scale poultry farms. Hospitals in cities like Los Angeles and Las Vegas have seen a dramatic spike in patients presenting with severe gastrointestinal distress, leading to over 150 hospitalizations. For many, the initial symptoms were deceptively mild. Victims reported experiencing stomach cramps, diarrhea, and a low-grade fever, often dismissing it as something they just had to get through. However, the persistence and severity of the illness soon made it clear this was no ordinary ailment. Health officials began to notice a pattern when emergency rooms started admitting multiple individuals from different households who all shared one common dietary element. They had recently consumed eggs, often lightly cooked or used raw in preparations like homemade mayonnaise or Caesar dressing. This seemingly innocuous breakfast staple had become a vector for a serious and debilitating bacterial infection, catching hundreds of families completely off guard. In California alone, more than 550 people have fallen ill, with the highest concentration of cases centered in the densely populated regions of Southern California. Across the border in Nevada, another 250 cases have overwhelmed local health departments, particularly in the bustling tourist hub of Las Vegas, where hotel breakfast buffets became early hotspots for transmission. Investigators from the Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, have been working tirelessly, conducting interviews and collecting shopping receipts to trace the contaminated products back to their origin. The trail of evidence has led them to a network of poultry facilities that supply millions of eggs to grocery stores and restaurants throughout the region, initiating a massive and complex recall effort. The human cost of this outbreak extends beyond the physical symptoms of salmonellosis. Families have been disrupted, with parents missing work to care for sick children and elderly individuals facing life-threatening complications. Grocery store shelves that once held dozens of egg brands are now partially empty, a stark reminder of the recall. This unfolding event serves as a powerful and sobering lesson. The journey our food takes from the farm to our fork is fraught with potential risks, and a breakdown at any point in that chain can have devastating consequences for public health. So, what exactly is this microscopic intruder causing such widespread sickness? Salmonella is a genus of bacteria, a common cause of foodborne illness, often called salmonellosis. These bacteria primarily live in the intestinal tracts of animals, including birds, and can be transmitted to humans through contaminated food. There are many different types of salmonella, but this outbreak strain, Salmonella enteritidis, is linked to poultry and eggs. The danger is its invisibility. It doesn't change smell, taste, or appearance. An egg can look perfectly normal, firm shell, vibrant yolk, yet still harbor these bacteria. Transmission to eggs happens 2 ways. Pathway 1. Infected hen reproductive organs bacteria pass directly into the egg's yolk and white. Pathway 2. External contamination, feces on the shell. Commercial egg washing helps, but tiny invisible cracks can let bacteria in. Wrong storage temperatures make it worse. After ingestion, the bacteria travel to the small intestine attached to the intestinal walls and multiply. That invasion triggers inflammation, producing classic symptoms: diarrhea, abdominal cramps, fever, sometimes vomiting. Symptoms usually appear 6 to 72 hours after exposure. Most healthy adults recover in about 4 to 7 days, but for vulnerable groups, young children, the elderly, people with weakened immune systems, risks rise. It can cause dehydration or spread into the bloodstream, causing sepsis. Understanding salmonella is key to prevention. Heat kills the bacteria, so risk depends on food preparation. High-risk foods include eggs, meat, poultry. Cross-contamination is a major kitchen hazard. The investigation reads like a detective story, with public health officials acting as the investigators, piecing together clues from hundreds of scattered cases. The first alarms were sounded in mid-July. Epidemiologists in California noticed a statistically significant uptick. Epidemiologists in Nevada noticed the same uptick, reported salmonella cases rising. Using advanced molecular subtyping like whole genome sequencing, scientists at state public health labs compared the samples. The bacteria from sick individuals in both states were genetically identical. That genetic fingerprint was the smoking gun, proving these were a single, widespread outbreak from a common source. The search for that source began immediately, and with urgency, patient interviews became the cornerstone of the investigation. CDC and local health department officials methodically questioned those who had fallen ill about their activities and food consumption in the days before sickness. A clear pattern quickly emerged from the data. An overwhelming majority reported eating eggs purchased from major supermarket chains and dining at restaurants known for their breakfast menus. In Las Vegas, a cluster of cases was linked to large hotel breakfast buffets where scrambled eggs and omelets are served to thousands daily. In Los Angeles, several popular brunch spots were identified as potential exposure points, narrowing the investigation onto the commercial egg supply chain. With the focus on eggs, FDA inspectors initiated a traceback investigation following the supply chain in reverse from the restaurant, from the grocery store, all the way back to the farm. Investigators collected invoices, shipping logs, and distribution records from retailers and restaurants. The paper trail from dozens of locations began to converge, pointing toward a handful of major food distributors who received egg shipments from a network of large-scale poultry farms located in California's Central Valley. This region, known for vast agricultural output, was identified as the likely epicenter. The final step was to confirm the source at the farms themselves. FDA agents, veterinarians, and environmental health specialists visited the suspected poultry facilities to collect environmental samples. They swabbed surfaces, tested feed and water, and collected eggs directly from production lines. Laboratory results provided the definitive link. The same genetic strain, Salmonella enteritidis, was found in the environment of several farms and inside the eggs they were producing. This confirmation triggered an immediate and massive recall. Millions of eggs were pulled from implicated facilities. The 2025 egg outbreak has highlighted a critical and often overlooked aspect of food safety: our own habits in the kitchen. While the contamination originated at the farm level, the final barrier between the bacteria and our bodies is proper handling and preparation at home. One of the most common mistakes people make is undercooking eggs. Many popular breakfast dishes feature runny yolks, sunny side up over easy soft-boiled eggs. While delicious, a liquid yolk means the egg has not reached a temperature high enough to kill potential Salmonella bacteria. The FDA recommends cooking eggs until both the yolk and the white are firm. For dishes like scrambled eggs or frittatas, they should be cooked to an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit or 71 degrees Celsius. Another significant risk factor is cross-contamination, which is honestly a subtle but dangerous error. This happens when bacteria from a raw food item are unintentionally transferred to other foods or surfaces. Imagine cracking an egg and some of the raw white drips onto the kitchen counter. If you then place a piece of toast or a clean utensil on that same spot, you have just created a pathway for contamination. Similarly, using the same bowl and whisk to prepare raw egg batter and then, without washing them, using them to mix a fruit salad is a recipe for disaster. It is essential to thoroughly wash your hands, utensils, cutting boards, and countertops with hot, soapy water after they have come into contact with raw eggs. Improper storage of eggs is a third critical mistake that can really amplify risk. Eggs should always be stored in their original carton in the main body of the refrigerator, not in the door. Maintaining a consistent cold temperature of 40 degrees Fahrenheit or 4 degrees Celsius is vital because it slows the growth of any Salmonella bacteria that may be present. Leaving a carton of eggs on the counter for several hours while you prepare a meal can allow bacteria to multiply rapidly, increasing the likelihood of illness even if the eggs are cooked later. Many people are unaware of the risks associated with consuming foods that contain raw or lightly cooked eggs. Homemade treats like tiramisu, eggnog, Caesar dressing, hollandaise sauce, and raw cookie dough often call for raw eggs. During an outbreak, and even as a general precaution, it is much safer to use pasteurized eggs for these preparations. Pasteurized eggs have been gently heated in their shells to a temperature that kills bacteria without actually cooking the egg. By recognizing and correcting these common kitchen mistakes, we can all take an active role in protecting ourselves and our families from foodborne illness. While the recent outbreak is concerning, it does not mean you need to eliminate eggs from your diet entirely. By adopting a few simple and practical safety habits, you can continue to enjoy this nutritious and affordable food with peace of mind. Your safety strategy begins right in the grocery store. When buying eggs, always open the carton and inspect them. Reject any carton that contains eggs that are cracked, slimy, dirty. A crack in the shell is an open door for bacteria to enter. Always check the sell-by or best-by date on the carton and choose the freshest eggs available. Make the egg aisle one of your last stops before heading to the checkout to minimize time outside refrigeration. Once you get your eggs home, proper storage is your next line of defense. Immediately place the eggs in the main compartment of your refrigerator, where the temperature is most consistently at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius. Do not store them in the refrigerator door. Keep the eggs in their original carton to protect them from breaking. A good rule of thumb is to use your eggs within 3 to 5 weeks of purchase for the best quality and safety. The most critical step in preventing salmonellosis is thorough cooking. Heat is your best weapon against salmonella. Cook eggs until the yolks and whites are both firm. If you are making a dish like a casserole or quiche, ensure its center reaches an internal temperature of 160 degrees Fahrenheit or 71 degrees Celsius, which you can verify with a food thermometer. For recipes that require raw or lightly cooked eggs, always opt for pasteurized eggs or egg products. These have been treated to destroy bacteria and are a safe alternative for your favorite recipes. Never taste test raw batter or dough that contains unpasteurized raw eggs. Always practice good kitchen hygiene. Wash your hands with soap and warm water for at least 20 seconds before and after handling raw eggs. This simple act prevents you from spreading potential bacteria to other foods, surfaces, or to your own mouth. Be sure to also thoroughly clean any bowls, utensils, and countertops that came into contact with the raw eggs. By embedding these 4 pillars of food safety, buy safe, store safe, cook safe, and keep clean, into your kitchen routine, you can significantly reduce your risk of foodborne illness. Buy safe, store safe, cook safe, and keep clean. Into your kitchen routine, you can significantly reduce your risk of foodborne illness and ensure that your meals are both delicious and safe. Awareness and careful habits are the best ingredients for a healthy kitchen.